In this video, I'm going to take you through the CAT 2026 form filling. I'm sure all of you are very eager to fill up the form, but before you fill up the form, let's have a look at this form and try to understand what are the components of this form and what is required as you go about filling up this form. Now, the first thing when you open up this website, imcat.ac.in, which is the official website for CAT, if you go here, you see the important dates mentioned here, and you should keep a note here that September 15th, 2026 is the last date for applying to the CAT. And you also have here mentioned that November 29th, which is the last Sunday of November, is going to be the CAT exam this year. Now, in this form, few things that you need to look at is there is something called as registration for non-IM instructions for CAT 2026. This is not for you. This is for institutions like MDI or IIT, which needs a CAT score. So a lot of people have been calling me saying that what should I fill up there? It's not for you, so you can just leave it. CAT 2025 scorecard login also is not required right now because it's only after your CAT result comes out that you can see your scorecard there. If you are a new candidate, you need to go to the new candidate registration and fill up the form from there and first register and then fill up the form. Whereas if you're a registered candidate and you already had written the CAT last year or the year before that, then your login ID is already there, right? Because your email ID and phone number is already mapped. You can straight away log in from here with the details and then you will be able to fill up the form. Some of the details will already be filled up there itself, okay? But if you're a new candidate, then we are going to go and register from here. But before that, if you go to the top of this, there are some few tabs here, and one of the most important tab is the FAQ tab. This FAQ tab is quite comprehensive because it has got all the different kind of queries that the CAT authorities have got in the past mentioned here with the details. So whenever you have a doubt, this is the first place to go and check out for all those queries. And it also has got a detail on category selection and the examination. So it's pretty comprehensive. So use this if you have any doubt. This is a place to go to. The other thing that you can see here is the contact us tab, and there is a toll-free number there. There is also another number 731-243-9402 and a CAT help desk email ID also. CAT authorities are very prompt in replying to your queries, so make sure that you contact them if you have any specific query that you're not able to clarify from the FAQs. Now, if you go down here, there are a lot of PDF files out here, the CAT information bulletin, the eligibility, the advertisement, you have a registration guide here in a PDF. You also have a lot of other PDFs out here, which are basically templates of certificates. If you require any of the templates, you can go here and download it. Okay. Now let's go back here and register as a new candidate registration. So when you click on the register button, this is where it takes you, and this is the initial registration form. And let me just agree to this. And then you go here and you see that you have the name of the candidate, the date of birth, the email address, confirmation of email address, the country, and the mobile number that you need to put. So let me just put here the details. Now, once I fill all this up and I generate OTP, the OTP goes to my email ID and phone number both. I can then validate my OTP here. So once you put in your OTP and validate here, you can go and fill in the declaration. And if once that is done, you can just click the confirm button, and what will happen is you will see all your details mentioned here itself. Now here you can go and verify your details, and once verified, keep in mind that your details are already finalized and you can't change it after this anywhere. Okay, these details will be already captured: your name, your date of birth, email address, country, and mobile number. So please don't make any mistakes, and then you submit it and your registration is completed. Once you have completed your registration, you can now go to the registered candidate login and click on login button here. You can then fill up your user ID, password, and then fill up the CAPTCHA and login. Now, where do you get the login ID and password? You get your login ID and password in your email itself. As soon as you register, you will get an email. In that email, you will have your login ID and password. Make sure that you save that in a separate folder and keep it with you, because it's going to come handy later on when you're going to download your admit card, and after that, when you want to check your scorecard as well. Okay, so keep it safe and then log in. Now, once you log in, you can see all your application detail out here. Entire detail will be visible here. And then there is a tab right here on the top which says go to application. You can click on that, and that takes you to the application portal. In this application portal, you have 6 different sections. You have the personal details, the academic details, work experience, programs, city, and the test city and the declaration. So I'm going to quickly fill up this detail out here so that you can just move ahead and submit this form. Now, after I have filled up this entire detail, you will see that there is a mention here that for CAT 2026, NC-OBC certificate must be issued after April 1, 2026. And that is true for EWS candidates also. Now, let's say if you have not got your EWS or the NC-OBC certificate, the other thing that you can do is there is an undertaking form. You can fill up that undertaking form and then upload it instead of your NC-OBC certificate. Or if you have an old NC-OBC certificate from the previous year, you can upload that too. But my advice to you all is, if you can get your NC-OBC certificate, get it now and then only fill up the form, because it typically takes only 21 days to get your NC-OBC or EWS form. Let's say after your application, if you're still not able to get it, you can take the application acknowledgement and the old NC-OBC or the EWS form or the undertaking and then upload it. And that will be a better thing to do rather than waiting for the CAT dates to get CAT form dates to get over and then applying for a NC-OBC certificate. Now you can go ahead and fill all these details up, date of birth, gender and all that. And then you go here and you have the communication address, fill that up, and then the permanent address. Once you do that, you have an emergency mobile number detail here. So you can give your father, mother or brothers or anybody's detail there. And then you need to now upload your photograph. So when you actually click here to upload, you will see all the details of the photograph, which should be in 1200 by 1200 pixel. Upload it. And once you upload, also view it so that it's very clear that what you have uploaded is what is showing up there. Same is the case with the signature. You need to upload your signature. It has to be a maximum of 80 KB. And then once you upload it here, you can view it from here as well. Now, these are the only 2 upload required if you are belonging to the general category. But let's say if you're not from the general category, then this will become a little bit more different, because you'll need to then fill up your category details and then upload your category certificate as well. So let's say if I'm going to put the EWS detail here, then it will ask me for the union territory, your caste type, and then the certificate issue date. Okay. Now the certificate issue date will be there on your certificate itself. And then after you do this, if you go here, you will see that there is one more upload which is now showing up, which is the NC-OBC, SC/ST or EWS certificate upload. Now the same holds true if you are putting the NC-OBC details here, but here there will be a small difference, because you also have to put the certificate issue date, union territory or state. But apart from that, you need to actually add the serial or the entry number of your caste. Now, where do I get the entry number of the caste? I'll just show you that. For getting a serial or entry number of caste, you have to go to this website www.ncbc.nic.in. When you go there, it'll open up a portal like this, and here, let's say you belong to Tamil Nadu, and let's say your caste is Gounder. So you go to Tamil Nadu and find out Gounder from there, and this is your serial or entry number. So you'll come back here and mention here as Gounder, and your entry number will be 41. So that is what is shown here. See, 41. Okay, so that's how you fill this up. Keep this in mind because this is very important. If you fill it wrongly, then you'll have trouble later on. Okay. Now, if you don't belong to the NC-OBC category and you belong to the SC or the SC category, then it is pretty much simple, because there's nothing much apart from uploading your. So when you check SC here, you'll see the state and the union territory, the caste and the tribe, and then you go below and upload your certificate here. And the same is the case with ST category, right? So that is how you will fill this up. So as of now, I'm going to put this as general and then move ahead. Now, the next section is the academic section. In this academic section, if you see, you have the details of your 10th standard that you need to fill up. And then you have the details of the 12th standard and the UG that you've done. That's a basic minimum requirement that you need to have. So here, if you see in the SSC or the 10th standard, I've taken as CBSE board. The month of completion I put as 6/2016, and then you have to enter your maximum marks. and be very clear on this. The maximum marks has to be for all the subjects that you have for which marks are there in your mark list. Okay. A lot of times I get query from the students that I was in a COVID batch and I did not have a scorecard, or I did not have a marks given to me. So if that is the case, let's see what happens when you fill this up. So let's say it's 2020, then what happens is you can either choose pass with marks and fill up your marks if the board had given marks, or you can say promotion without marks. Okay, so that is how this works. So if you are in COVID batch, then make sure that you fill it up accordingly. So I'm as of now putting as this. So I'm going to put my maximum marks as 500, and because it was CBSE board, and then here I'll put as 450, and my aggregate percentage comes to 90%. Now you go ahead, and if you actually look at this now, you can fill up your 12th standard marks also accordingly. And even in 12th standard, if you're from COVID batch, the same thing will be there. Once you complete this, you can move on to the bachelor's degree detail. And in this, it asks you, are you a final year bachelor, a final year of your bachelor degree? If you say no, then you have to mark here as yes, right? Have you completed the bachelor's degree? Then it's going to be yes. So if that is the case, you need to then fill up all the details here. If you mark that you are in the final year of bachelor's, then what will happen is you need to still fill up all the details, and you will be putting your details up till the 6th semester that you have completed. Okay, so that's how your bachelor's degree needs to be filled up. You have the university name, the college name, the degree, discipline, graduation, everything as drop down boxes, and you can just fill it up. It's pretty much easy. Now, if you are having a dual or a 5-year integrated course, then you can mark here as yes, in which case you will have additional details to fill up. Otherwise, you can mark it as no. And then here, if you are currently in the final year and you have already completed or have already completed another bachelor degree, then that second bachelor degree details also you can fill up here. Okay, so it's pretty much easy. There is nothing difficult in this. Also, as you go along, you can also fill up your master's details here if you have master's, and if you don't have, you can mark it as no. And if you have any of the other certifications like the fellow of Institute of Actuaries of India, then you can mark it as S and fill up that detail. Or if you are a CA, a CS, or ICW, you can mark that details as well here and then fill up the details as well. Okay, I'm for the time being marking it as no, saving it, and going to the next section. So in this section, you have to enter your work experience as on July 31, 2026, and only full-time experience after graduation must be entered. It also says part-time, project internships, articleship, pre-graduation work experience, and all should not be entered at all in this. Okay, so it's very clear. Full-time work experience where you got salary up till the 31st of July 2026 is what you can fill up. So you can go here, and I filled it up here. So you have put I put my company name, designation, start date, end date, and if you have a break in between, you can put that and automatically calculate your experience in days. And you need to then put what the details of why you took that break. Now you can click here. If you have more experience, you can add another row here. If you don't have it, then you can keep it with one and then go ahead and finish it off. So now once this is done, it will show you your total work experience, your experience in months, 44 months, 20 days. That's what it shows for me. You can just now go here, save, and next. Now the next section in this is the programs. I will suggest you that if you are not clear about the programs that you want to apply to, select all and fill everything up. It's not going to matter. But if you are wanting to know what exactly these programs are, then all these PGP programs, PGP specialization programs like the FABM program, all these programs, including the MBA program, you can apply for. And you can apply for the FPM programs if you are eligible for it. FPM programs are what? Doctoral programs or PhD programs, right? So plenty of programs out here. I'm not going to get into the detail of each and every program. So that's why I said if you are not sure of what this program is, whether you're eligible, not eligible, just go click select all and then fill the interview preference and leave it there. If you're not eligible for something, they'll not give you a call. All others where you're eligible, it will give you a call. So I'm going to currently just fill up few so that I can just go ahead and finish off this application and show you the entire thing. So I'm just going to fill this up here and then go down. So and save and next. Now here is a section where you will be choosing your city of preference. for writing the examination. So I've already filled up these 5. So you can go to the drop down and pick up your state and then accordingly do that. Pretty simple. After that, you can just save next and go to the next one. Now here is where you will be filling up the details by clicking the declaration, and then you're going to pay the fees in the next section. But before that, you need to go and preview your application. So go to preview button and it'll open up a preview for you. Scroll through and look at everything once again in details. Whether you have committed any mistake, you can see that here. And then you need to also see the photographs here. So for me, it's not showing up for some reason, but then the photographs are there. So I'm going to go forward and submit this application. So once you submit the application, you will get the details of your payments. So payment method, and then you can just make the payment and your registration is completed. Now I want to take you through to one more place here, which is called the Grievance Portal. When you log in, you'll see this Grievance Portal. Here you can actually go and fill up any other queries that you have related to the form or even the examination. So application form, application payment, examination day, all these details, you can check out, and accordingly you can fill this up and then send it across to the CAT authorities. Okay, you can even upload scanned copies of or screenshots of anything that you want to share with them, right? So that's all about the CAT form filling. Once you have done this, you should be able to download your admit card by November 4th when it comes online, and then go and write the examination with that admit card. So that's all about CAT 2026 form filling. If you have any further doubt, feel free to ask those questions in the comment. I'll be very happy to get back to you and answer those questions within 24 hours. Okay, thank you so much and all the best for your CAT examination. And we are also going to come up with a lot of different form filling videos as well as CAT preparatory videos. So stay tuned and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.